We will be reading Skippy the Bush Kangaroo. Interpretive reading by me, Maxine Turner. The book is written by Victor Barnes and illustrated by Walter Stackpool. The book has a copyright dated 1969 by Western Publishing Company. When Skippy was born, her mother was one of many bush kangaroos which often visited the grasslands for the sweet of food that grew there. One day, some wild dogs chased Skippy's mother, who threw Skippy into the bush for safety. The mother kangaroo then led the dogs away from the spot. Skippy snuggled under the bush and waited, but her mother did not come. Soon it was night, and the little kangaroo was very lonely and frightened, even though other bush creatures tried to cheer her up. In the morning, Skippy was so tired that she lay down on the first warm rock that she could find, and it was here that she was found by Sonny Hammond, who lived nearby at the ranger's headquarters. Sonny picked up Skippy and put her inside his shirt, where she felt warm and comfortable. She went to sleep as Sonny took her to his home. When they arrived at the ranger headquarters, Sonny told his father how he had found the little kangaroo and asked if he could keep her. Matt Hammond looked into his son's pleading eyes and said, "Sonny, you know the rules. We raise her until she can look after herself, then she must go." Sonny looked after Skippy. He fed her and carried her around in his shirt until she grew too big, and then she used to follow him everywhere. She could soon hop faster than Sonny could run, and she could even hop faster than Sonny's elder brother Mark could run. Skippy liked to chase a bouncing ball or to find boys when they played hide and seek. No matter where they hid themselves, she could always scent them out. Another game was called Postman. Skippy would carry a letter from Sonny to Mark in her little pouch and wait for Nez to take back to Sonny. This game always made Skippy feel very important. Skippy would often go exploring in the bush, but she always returned as soon as she heard Sonny blow in a gum leaf, for this was their special call. Skippy talked to the other bush animals and learned of the dangers that could happen to her clumsy human friends. Very soon, Skippy was warning the boys of danger. Instead of following them, she now went in front as their leader. One day, Skippy led the boys to a cave that she had found. It was very roomy inside. The boys named it Skippy's Cave and often played there. On Christmas Eve, Sonny was gathering tender leaves for some young koalas when he slipped and fell. His ankle became wedged in the fork of a tree. Sonny struggled and struggled, but he was not able to get his foot free. He shouted and shouted, but he was too far from home to be heard. Then Sonny was able to reach a gum leaf, and he whistled for Skippy. Skippy was a long way off when she heard the call, so it took her quite some time to reach her friend. Sonny was sure that he would never ever be found when Skippy jumped on the rock near him. How happy Sonny was to have his friend with him. He was not so lonely, and then he thought of sending Skippy home with a message, but he had nothing to write with. At last he thought of his handkerchief, which he put into Skippy's pouch and sent her off. "I must get help, Skippy said to herself with every bound as she sped to headquarters. She hoped that Mark would be there and that she could make him understand that Sonny was in terrible trouble. At last she reached headquarters and found Mark feeding the animals. Skippy tried to get his attention, but he pushed her aside, saying, "Keep away, Skippy. You are big enough to feed yourself." Then Mark noticed the handkerchief and saw how excited Skippy was. Mark realised that Sonny was in trouble. Soon Skippy was leading a rescue party back to Sonny. On Christmas morning, Matt spoke the most wonderful words that Skippy and Sonny had ever heard. Skippy can stay at headquarters. Sonny needs her to look after him. Skippy, the bush kangaroo.